If you are feeling really fed up with social media and the idea of trying to use it to grow your business just feels like, ugh, you just don't want to do it, you're just resisting it, you don't want to be on there, then don't worry. There are other ways to create visibility that don't involve social media. You don't have to use social media to build your business. So let's get into it and talk about what the other ways are to actually create visibility in a way that feels good. My number one goal is to help you to figure out how you're actually going to make $100,000 and beyond with an online business. I want it to be fun, I want it to be simple, I want you to feel like you can actually do it. One of the big things with all of us now with an online business is social media and feeling like we have to be on social media, we have to be using social media in order to grow our businesses. But the problem with social media is that social media is such a beast these days. Some of us don't want to be on social media, we don't want to spend time there, there's just a lot of fake stuff out there. Maybe you go on there and you get anxious because you're comparing yourself to everyone and it makes you feel really inadequate. There's so many different layers to social media, and I think so many of us are just kind of fed up with it, and we don't want to have to do it as part of our business. We just want to build our business. We don't want to be prancing around on social media. As you can tell, I definitely have some feelings on this topic. So what the hell can you do to create visibility without social media? Great question. I want to run through some ideas and things that you can focus on that can be really, really powerful in growing your business that don't revolve around social media. So if you look at the 100K framework that we have that helps you to get to your first 100,000, in the first column here, this is all about getting discovered. So obviously social media is one of those ways. There are millions of people on it, but we want to figure out, well, how can we create visibility without using social media? So I want to go through a few things, in particular things that I've experienced that have had a massive impact for me. And the first one of those things is networking. Whether you're doing that online or offline, networking and connecting with people and building those relationships is so crucial. When I first started FEA, I was networking like a crazy person. I got myself out there, I got to local events, I traveled all over the country, in fact practically around the world, networking, connecting, going to conferences, getting myself out there and connecting. When you get yourself out there and you connect with people in your industry, in your space, you connect with peers, you connect with leaders, it's so powerful. The ideas that will flow from that, the connections that will flow from that, the collaboration opportunities, just the opportunities in general are massive. And I know I would never be where I'm at now if it wasn't for putting in so much effort with connecting with people and getting myself out there and getting known. And that's the key question that I want you to ask yourself. How am I going to get known for what I do? How am I going to get people to know I exist? And you could actually look at this and think, okay, let's just take my local area. How can I get known locally for what I do? What local events could I go to? And what could I do in general to just get known locally? Could you actually host an event locally to bring people together, to connect with people so that they know what you're about, what you have to offer? What could you do to get known locally? Go on Google and Google how many people live in your local area. Okay, so there's 25,000 people that live in my local area. How can I start getting to know more of them? How can I start being more connected to those people? It's such a powerful thing, and it doesn't require social media. And honestly, so many incredible things can come from that. When you do that and you connect in that way, there are other opportunities then for collaboration, which is also on here, collaborating. Maybe someone that you connect with has got a podcast, and maybe you could go on that podcast show and talk about your area of expertise or your story, your experiences that could be really powerful, and then the listeners of that podcast then get to discover you. Another thing is ads. Right here. You can tinker with ads or start running ads, and it means you don't have to be going on social media yourself. You don't have to be spewing out content for social media, but you can be leveraging the power of social media. You can be leveraging the network and the people on social media. You can be getting in front of them by running ads. Now, for me, I actually started running Facebook ads back in 2011, and I had nothing to sell. So for my first business, I ran Google ads to get discovered, to get people to know me, and I know it was so powerful. And so with the Female Entrepreneur Association, I really wanted to figure out how I could tap into the power of ads to get discovered. I was literally taking a tiny little budget, like $5 a day, and figuring out how can I get in front of people who might like what I'm about, how can I narrow that down, get in front of my audience and connect with them, build a relationship with them. Even just advertising like an inspirational quote so they could get to connect with me and my messaging and what I was about. Ads can be so powerful for people to get to discover you and what you're about. There are some people I know of purely because I see their ads popping up everywhere. So you could look at exploring ads as a way to create visibility and get discovered. You could also use YouTube. Now YouTube is more of a search engine than social media. So could you create content that could go on YouTube to help you get discovered through that channel? Those are just some simple ideas, but I think the biggest thing is asking yourself the question of how are you going to get known for what you do? How are you going to get people to discover you? And really, it's about the relationships that you're building. And I think we can all build powerful relationships off of social media that are meaningful and that are going to lead to incredible opportunities and relationships and support and ideas that can flourish from them. So have a think about what you would love to focus on to grow without social media and get going with it. I know so many successful people who have built thriving businesses that have never ever used social media whatsoever. So it's possible, you can do it, and if it feels good for you, then don't feel guilty about not being on social media. We don't have to get good at doing all the things, we just have to get good at doing one or two of them so that we can have a breakthrough to get to 100,000. I hope that's really helpful. If you want more help with this, then I have a quiz. It's just a free quiz that will help you to identify what stage of this 100K framework you're at so that we can send you over a plan that's going to be tailored to where you are at currently in your business so that you can see how you can get to 100,000. So if you haven't taken the quiz, go and take it. I'll leave the link for you. And I will see you next time for another episode of the She Meets Business Show.